Okay, what's going on, guys? So today I'm going to do the full review for the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. I'm not going to do the unboxing because I did a video for the unboxing, and then I did a video of how to set up the notifications here in the US, and I'll link those in the description if you guys want to watch those. So before I start, this is a Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, okay? This is the Chinese ROM version that I'm using here in the US, okay? There is no global version for the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, okay? The 17, the base 17, and the 17 Ultra, which I'm reading they're going to announce around December, but usually gets announced around February, March. The base 17 and the 17 Ultra should have a global version. The 17 Pro Max, from everything I'm hearing and reading right now, will not have a global version. So if you guys are buying this phone in the US, you guys are going to have to deal with the pitfalls of the Chinese ROM here in the US, okay? So I'm going to go over everything, and then I also did a video on what doesn't work, the 5 things that don't work. So I'm not going to get into that in depth here, but there is a video that I'll link that if you guys want to watch it, we'll go through all that. Okay, let's get into the specs. 6.9-inch screen, front screen, 3,500 nits peak brightness, okay? 1200 by 2608 pixels. Xiaomi Dragon Crystal Glass 3. What kind of name is that? The Dragon Crystal Glass. You've got a secondary display here of 2.9 inches on the back. This phone is running a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, HyperOS 3, HyperOS 3. You've got 12 gigs 512, 16 gigs of RAM 512, and 16 gigs of RAM 1 terabyte. This is a 16 512. Okay. Triple camera, 50 megapixel wide, 50 megapixel periscope telephoto, 50 megapixel ultra wide, and you've got a 50 megapixel selfie on this too. And I paid $1,139 total from Giztop. So when I ordered this, it took a couple weeks to get here because I pre-ordered it. So it wasn't shipped right away. Giztop usually gets me stuff real quick. This time it took a little bit because I ordered it as soon as they announced it, and then it took a little bit to come out. And I had somebody ask this on a comment on another video. My DHL tracking from Giztop said information received all the way up until it was like right here. So if you guys are, they're not updating DHL, give it a few days. If it goes a long time, a few weeks or whatever, then yeah, it's a problem. But right now, it took me a little bit, and DHL didn't update until it finally did. And by then it was already here, and then I got in the phone. So Giztop is where I got it, $1,139. Okay, let's talk about the display a little bit. So now, obviously, this whole phone, they are, I feel as though they're copying, it's a homage, right? It's a copy of the iPhone 17. Obviously, you see it in the back here. I don't think that this is a surprise or that this is a controversial statement, really. They pushed the release date of this phone up to match the iPhones. The back is just like the iPhone. And then they go and put a secondary display on it to go, okay, we're just like the iPhone, but we're a little bit better. So I love this flat, the 6.9-inch display. Although I can't believe I'm honestly saying this, the 15 Ultra here had a smaller display, and I honestly I like how it feels in the hand a little bit more, to be completely honest with you guys. But I love this flat display on the 17 Pro Max with the curved edges. I am more so into the square look of like the Galaxy S24 Ultra, the square corners and the square edges. But I love the flat display. It feels like I'm looking at every inch of this. It just feels like it's coming right at me, and I personally love it. I love typing on it. I love using it. So I love the flat display. Now, on this phone, you also get a rear display, 2.9-inch rear display. What I will say here in the States, I haven't gotten much use out of it. So you guys can go in here and you can customize it, and there's personalization. So you can go to my rear display here. And you've got my items, jumbo, gradient, signature, and you can pick. You can pick wallpapers, you can generate. So you can pick different wallpapers here for your rear display. Pick from gallery if you want. Generate with AI or none. Signature. Somebody commented on the haters get smashed signature and said, I need to be a little more happier. I appreciate the comment because I actually, you know what? That was one of the comments I read and I thought that was a nice comment. But, you know, the haters get smashed was something that started long ago, long before this phone thing. So you can set your picture there. But now you got these creative clocks, right? Like the step count. If you add it here. Then you go to your rear display and you can swipe through the screens that you added. So, but one thing here, it says, if you guys can see it, it says grant permissions in Mi Fitness. And when you get this phone, if you get it from Giztop, everything, all the Chinese bloatware is going to be removed. And so there's not going to be any Chinese apps, right? So there was no Mi Fitness. So then I downloaded the APK, Mi Fitness, and then you go in here, you activate all of the permissions, third-party settings, app permissions, grant everything, okay? And it's still not popping up. It's grant permissions in Mi Fitness. And then I went and looked at, okay, I think one of the apps was Zepp Life that somebody mentioned. So I went in here, signed up for this, profile, you know, permissions, everything, still nothing. So the back display on this has very, very limited use right now. It's got very limited use. It's got a clock. You've got a music player, which is Xiaomi's music player or Spotify, which I don't actually use Spotify. I don't know if I use YouTube Music, which is not compatible with this. So let me just, right? So if you guys can see right there, it's my advertisement. So you can do Spotify on the back. You can't, it's my advertisement because I don't pay for Spotify. You can't do YouTube Music. Okay. So YouTube Music doesn't sync. Your phone calls will sync, but your messages won't. So your messages won't pop up on the back here. When you have a call, it'll pop up. So you can go in here into personalization, rear display, notifications, and you have these: music, Xiaomi Hyper, AI tickets, phone, and travel assistant. No messages, nothing like that. So this isn't a gripe. None of these things are a gripe against this phone. Why? This is a Chinese phone. None of these things that I don't like, because this is a Chinese phone made up to use in China, right? So I can't complain that some of this stuff doesn't work here in the US. It's not meant for US release. When there's a global version, we'll take a look at it and we'll see what they do differently. But right now, this is what you have. So this rear display really, for me, has not been useful at all, except for one thing. And in one thing, it's been very useful, which is the camera, right? So being able to preview yourself is awesome. And then you can also start it from the rear display too, on its own. And then you can control the camera here, right? And record from here, zoom in, zoom out, right? So you can do all that from the back. That actually is very useful. That is a very useful feature, being able to line yourself up on the back, being able to set your phone up and film with the main camera and still see yourself in the back, or set up portrait photos or whatever you guys are doing and still being able to see yourself. It's badass. It's a fantastic feature. The rest of it, not so much. The other thing to talk about the rear display case, the rear display while we're here is this case. And again, I went over this in another video. For me, this case does not work here in the US, okay? So I was seeing all the reviewers and all the shorts that are showing this off. They show them putting the case on, okay? Powering it on. So power's on right there. You guys see this come on, and then it cuts, and then it comes back into them playing the game, right? But in between that, this is what happens. You guys get a thing that says ID verification, a complete ID verification on the front display to be able to use Gamebox. So you turn it over here, okay? I'm gonna click A, and this is what you got, all right? In accordance with the notice on preventing online game addiction amongst minors, game users must complete ID verification before using this service. We will protect the privacy, yada, yada, yada. So you've got to put in your Chinese ID number and your Chinese name right here. It says name, same as on ID, ID number, enter ID number for them to let you in to play these games. And I went through a bunch of websites, a bunch of different lists, trying to put in a Chinese name and a Chinese ID number, and I couldn't do it. I either got network error or ID not valid. So I have not been able to find a workaround as of yet to play games on the back of this screen. So if you guys are here in the US and you guys are going to spend the $85 on this Chinese, on the rear display case, I absolutely would not do it. If I figure out how to get it to work, I'll post a different video. Right now, I've not been able to find out how to bypass it, and I have tried and tried and tried. So that is the case for me here. I've seen some of these reviews that test it and that use it. They show it, but they show them playing the game. So I don't know if someone there, on their squad has a Chinese ID that's valid that they can use or what. I personally have not been able to do it, and I have not been able to get into it. So this rear display right now, as it stands, has pretty limited features here in the US. So again, personalization, you got creative clocks, right? Different clocks. Nature, you've got AI wallpapers here, so you can generate a wallpaper, custom wallpapers, and then you've got pets. So these pets will actually, these pets will move. They're like kind of interactive. So if you click on him, he actually moves around. So that's kind of cool. And then for rear display, you have more recommendations, so you can go in here and go look for more stuff. Go download more different clocks and whatnot. But again, even with all this, if you consider this customization, which it is for wallpapers and stuff, I would say here in the States, I haven't really used it that much. And I haven't really gotten a ton of use for it, except again, the use I have gotten for it is lining up the camera, which has been absolutely awesome. It really has, and it really is a useful feature. But as far as like, oh, this rear display is a game changer, I don't know about a game changer. I like the camera use on it. Beyond that, it's kind of gimmicky to me. Okay. So I do like the display on this phone here. Let's see. And here's your, refresh rate. You go default, custom, high, adjust the refresh rate dynamically based on scenarios, right? You can adjust your font here. Okay. So I do like the display on this phone. If you guys are getting an iPhone 17 or whatever, you guys will understand the flat display on the iPhone. That's essentially what this is. It looks really nice. I personally really like it. Okay, battery. So battery on this one is 7,500 mAh, which is supposed to be smaller. It will be smaller on the global version, but this is 7,500 mAh, which sounds large, but it doesn't actually feel quite as large on a day-to-day use. I'm not really getting a full day out of this. By about 5 o'clock, I need to recharge it, but I am a fairly heavy user. I'm on my phone all the time. I'm on Gmail all the time. I'm sending emails. I'm doing phone calls. I work on my phone because I'm in sales, so that's what I do. So for me, the battery sounds a lot larger than what it actually feels like. And then the other thing is, I feel like once you guys put up all your Google apps and limit all the restrictions here. So again, to set up these apps, like when you go in here, whatever, let's AliExpress. When you set if you want to get notifications for the apps, for all your Google apps on this phone, you're going to have to go your permissions, right? And one of the things you're going to have to go do is do your battery and set it to no restrictions versus battery saver, right? If you want to get all your apps. So in my opinion, I don't know what the actual stats or data shows. In my opinion, once you install all your Google apps and disable all these battery saving features, your battery's going to run down a lot quicker too. So obviously, if you're using the phone here in the US, you're going to be using all your Google apps. You're not going to be using your Chinese apps. So I would expect you to not, I don't know about getting a full day out of it. It's not a bad battery. It's fine. It's 100-watt wired charging and 50-watt wireless charge. So you'll be able to charge it up pretty quick. About 30 minutes, it'll charge to full. But it's not 7,500 mAh. It's fine. It's not really anything crazy in my opinion. I'm still having to recharge this phone. I'm still not getting a full day out of it. So keep that in mind, as you will too. Biometrics. Great on the biometrics. Actually, a little bit slower than my Xiaomi 15 Ultra, I would say. But the Chinese phones let you in so quick. Xi Jinping wants all your data. He wants all your information. So they let you in so quick. So let's set it up here. Done. Right there. So that's finger face unlock. Also quick. They had so many confirmations on this. So many security protections on this Chinese. Statement on security. Face unlock. Look at how much. And then they got a countdown before you can hit agree. So they make sure you read all this stuff. Got the face. Super quick. So definitely no problems. No problems with the biometrics. No problems with the face unlock. Better than the S25 Ultra. The face unlock on the iPhone is pretty good, but you're not going to worry about any of it. The biometrics on the Chinese phones at this point are kind of like set it and forget it. They're so good that it's not going to bother you. You're just going to use it and it's going to be fine. Okay. Sound. Let me get something that's not going to be copyrighted here. Sound to me it's fine. I wish it was a little bit louder. It's flagship sound. I wish it was. I do wish it was a little bit louder.
And others like me, but no one's like me. My tongue holding on
Full loud.
by the beat that will just have it. I can see the exit shimmer left behind to be a genius. And my tongue holding matter like a beat that will just have it. I can see the exit shimmer left behind.
Okay, just to compare, that's full loud. So just to compare with this is the the Xiaomi X15 Ultra. This is my Ultra. The 17 Pro Max here. $15 Ultra. So to me, when I listen to it right here, the 17 Pro Max sounds a little bit better. It sounds a little bit louder. And again, I say this in a lot of the reviews. If you guys don't have the two phones sitting next to you, you probably won't notice the difference. What I find is it's louder. It's loud, but it starts getting kind of muffled. All the sounds kind of blend together. If you listen to the 15 Ultra, it's maybe a little bit quieter, not as loud, but also it's got a little bit of a clearness to it. It's got a clearness to it, to the sound. So to me, no problems with the sound here. It's going to be fine. It's going to get you going. Bluetooth is going to be all good in the gym. You're going to be able to walk all the way to the dumbbells, come back. So no problems there if it's sitting on its own. If you guys are comparing it to a iPhone 17 Pro Max or a Samsung S25 Ultra, it's probably not quite as good, but it's gonna be just fine. It'll get you there. Okay. So the camera on this is fine. This kind of builds my argument as to why I don't feel like you guys should get this phone here. I just don't feel like this phone has enough to move the needle here in the US. So the camera is a little bit worse than the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. Chelsea says the camera makes us look too fake. Obviously, I'll be throwing some pictures up. I love the rear display. I love being able to line yourself up with the rear display here. That's one thing I do love about the camera. But something that's, you know, if you're importing a phone, for me, when I import the Xiaomis and the Vivos, I import them for the camera because the camera is badass on all of these phones. So when one of these phones doesn't have the baddest camera, you start to kind of go, okay, well, is it worth importing the phone now? So in your camera settings here, you got your regulars, you got photo, portrait, documents right here, video, pro mode, okay? So all the regular options. I think the pictures, they look fine. They look maybe a little bit washed out to me. They look fine. You're not gonna go, oh my, this is amazing. What camera is this? You'll get asked about the phone just because the camera bump and because of the just because the interesting layout and the secondary display. But as far as the camera and the picture quality, I don't think it's better than the 17 Pro Max for the iPhone. I do think it's better than the S25 Ultra. I do not think it's better than the Xiaomi X15 Ultra. So, you know, while we're here, I will say what I would get instead of this phone here in the US, I would get the 15 Ultra. If you're dead set on getting a Xiaomi and you don't want to wait until December and you're thinking about just the camera, this is I don't think the camera on the 17 Pro Max is worth importing the phone here and dealing with the Chinese ROM here. I just don't think it's worth it. Okay, so day to day. Notifications, I got notifications working fine. I got calls and texts working fine. I've got other notifications like YouTube, Reddit. Those are a little bit delayed. And when you notice this is when you have multiple phones sitting there. When you have your S25 Ultra, when you have different phones sitting there and you get notifications, pop, 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 but you're not getting the notification on your X17 Pro Max, the Xiaomi Pro Max. So there are delays in notifications that you've got to do all the settings right to be able to get all your notifications. And again, I'll link the video. I'm not going to go through all this here. I did a video on how to set your settings to get notifications. So they do work here, okay? But they are delayed. That is a problem I have here. That is just, it's what you're going to have to deal with on the Chinese ROMs. And I had that problem on the Vivo X200 Ultra. It's just what it is on the Chinese ROMs. Day-to-day features. You're going to have no problems here. It's basically everything functions the same, but the Chinese ROM is going to set you back a little bit. So, you know, you go to Instagram, everything's fine. If you go to post, it goes into your gallery. So if you're working out of your Google Photos, you guys are going to have trouble posting. This is why I haven't switched Chelsea up to one of these Xiaomis yet, because they go and pull out of your albums. So if you use Google Photos or if you're ingrained into Google Photos, basically this Chinese ROM is just not going to play the best. It's just not going to play the best with Google services. It will play. You're going to get your calls. You're going to get your texts, but it doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to play around with it. So that is just something to keep in mind for your day-to-day operations. If you guys are entrenched in your Google apps, this thing is just not going to play as well with them. You guys need to go in and, like, for example, I use Keeper, right? And so Keeper Fill is an app that it's in Keeper and it pops up when you go to fill in passwords and whatnot. It'll pop up over the top. Well, it doesn't want to play well with that. You know, you got to do all of the all of your permissions here. And then what you also have to do, you know, for the key, because it comes in through your keyboard, you guys got to go into your keyboard settings, languages and input, manage keyboards, and you guys got to pick your Gboard here, right? Because you're going to have your Baidu. Then also you've got secure keyboards. Xiaomi wants you to use this secure keyboard when you go to type in passwords or anything. It wants you to use the secure keyboard. So you got to shut that off for it to affect. It's just there's roadblocks to playing the best and being native with Google services for this Chinese ROM. Okay, that's going to be your day-to-day problems. Maps. No timeline. Can't open timeline on this type of device. To keep going back in time, use the Google Maps on a supported smartphone. No quick share. Right? You have Xiaomi Share. No quick share. If you try to quick share through Google Drive, let's see here. If you try to share, you can do Me Share. You can't do quick share. So no quick share. No Google activated voice assistant. Hello Google will not work. There is Google Assistant. And it's going to open Gemini or switch to Google Assistant. You're currently using Gemini as your default assistant, which responds to touch or if you use Hey Google. Hey Google. It's not going to do it. No Android Auto. Okay. No Android Auto on this. This case also doesn't work. So here's your day-to-day gripes, right? Delayed notifications, no Android Auto, no Google Voice Assistant, no quick share, no Google Timeline, okay? Next thing, I did not like the call quality on this. So the call quality on this was fine here at my house. The call quality at work was honestly kind of garbage.
One moment, please. This is G722. After the beep, record your test message and then press pound.
This is Rich Kid the Prince, and I am trying to demonstrate the call quality for the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max here in the US. I am in the warehouse, and I'm trying to replicate a call that I had with a customer the other day, and I was just walking around the warehouse, and so I'm trying to give you guys an idea of a regular use case scenario, you know, if you guys bring this thing to work or whatever. And so I need my 4 loyal followers to hear what the call quality sounds like here in the US. Again, Xiaomi 17 Pro Max.
This is Rich Kid the Prince, and I am trying to demonstrate the call quality for the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max here in the U.S. I am in the warehouse, and I'm trying to replicate a call that I had with a customer the other day, and I was just walking around the warehouse. A regular use case scenario, you know, you guys bring this thing to work or whatever, and so I need my 4 loyal followers to hear what the call quality sounds like here in the U.S. Again, Xiaomi.
To repeat the record and playback tab, press 2 for DTM.
Truly kind of garbage. I work in my shop is in a bit of a rural area. It was garbage. I can't wait to switch off this thing and go back to either my Xiaomi 15 Ultra Global or my S25 Ultra. I'm going to switch to one of those. Call quality, not good, okay? So here you guys can see it's pulling band 25 on T-Mobile, and here negative 88 for serving cell. I think the closer you get to 80, the better. And the further away you get, the worse. So 89 is okay here for call quality. At my shop, it was minus 105. So as you get into these rural areas, you're going to have more problems. I did not like the call quality. I get calls. I get all my calls, but I was very unhappy with it, and I'm waiting to switch off of it because of that. The other thing you guys need to do is you guys need to turn on Wi-Fi calling. So if you go into your settings and you go into your mobile networks, and usually SIM settings, they'll have Wi-Fi calling, but you don't have that on this phone. So you can't turn on Wi-Fi calling. So what you need to do, you can go to your phone and you need to type in *#, *869-434, #*. And I'll throw it up on the screen. And when you type that in on your dialer, going to say, VO LTE disabled, VO LTE enabled, whatever. So you need to type that in, and that's going to enable your Wi-Fi calling, and you're going to do better on the voice reception. But I still did not get good reception, good audio quality with my voice calls. Okay, so that's a few things on the day-to-day that you guys are going to have to worry about. It's actually kind of a decent amount of turnoffs for this phone, in my opinion. For the UI, I like the customizability. I like the layout. I like the enlarged folders here. I do like the customizability you have here. I absolutely love the super wallpapers. You can go in AI wallpapers here, and you can generate a picture. So let's see if I can generate a AI pic here. And that's what it gave me. Marion, that does no. That's what it generated. Okay. So there you go. So you can generate AI wallpapers. I love the super wallpapers on this. Always do. Always love the super wallpapers. We're ready for more, though. We're ready for more. Stay tuned for our new releases. I am staying tuned, baby. I need these. And I do like these. I don't know what they're called or what these are, but because I can't read. But you got all these wallpapers, AI wallpapers, always on display here. You've got themes, signatures, analog, kaleidoscope. And here's what the always on display looks like. I've got the super wallpaper on for the mount right now. You've got a bunch of different options for the always on display. And then my notifications do come in on the always on display on this. They do show up. So that is working. I do have that working. So customizability as far as like UI is standard Xiaomi. You have all of your, home screen. You've got the enlarged folders. Home screen layout, 5x9, 4x6, or 4x7. And then when you guys go to your widgets, you guys need to go. So it's going to give you all of these widgets, right? All of these different widgets for apps that you may not have. You need to hit this search, and you're going to wait over here. And then it's going to pop up these widgets. And down at the bottom, it's going to say Android widgets. And there's going to be all your Android apps that you set. And if they're compatible and if they're available for a widget, it'll pop up here. So that's how you have to get into your Android widgets. Again, Chinese phone doesn't want to play well. So I do like the UI on this. I feel as though the animations move a little bit slower. I'm usually zipping around my phone, everything, and I feel like the animations move a little bit slower than the 16 gigabyte RAM would suggest. But I also need to go mess with the developer options, turn my animations off, do all the things. However, I do feel as though it's not as snappy necessarily, even as this 15 Ultra here. Okay. So then let's run this Geekbench real quick if you guys are interested. And while this is running, I'll run through the US compatibility. So notifications are working. My calls and texts are working. Calls are, I don't like the call quality in rural areas. The other notifications like YouTube, Reddit, things like that is delayed. WhatsApp seems to be fine. Let's see what else you guys got. It's hard to find. The one thing is it's hard to find cases and screen protectors here in the US. So you guys are going to have to go to AliExpress, right? Because Amazon's not going to have a lot of them. So you guys are going to need to go to AliExpress on this. And then I'll put another video up of AliExpress, my experience there. because you guys got to watch the shipping now because they're jacking all the shipping up to the U.S. Because of tariffs or whatever it is. So that's some things to know. Yes, and then U.S. compatibility. This case does not work. So the game case does not work without a Chinese ID, Chinese login and ID. So keep all of that in mind for U.S. compatibility. But again, if calls and texts is what matters to you, I am getting calls and texts. For me personally, the call quality is just not quite there on this phone, okay? Okay, so there you go. There's the Geekbench 3324 if you guys want to know for single core, 8527 for multi-core score for the 17 Pro Max. So if that means what it means to you, then that's what it means, okay? All right, I forgot to do this yesterday, so I'm going to cut this in. Let's do a little bit of gaming. So I had a couple people ask how hot this thing gets. I'm playing a game called Implosion right now, and it actually does not get as hot as the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. That phone got pretty hot. This phone, I've been playing this game for a little bit, and it doesn't. It's fine.
This data is not as stable as it looks on those lanes.
Let's go. This is a game called Implosion. And this thing is not, it's not warm to the touch at all. So then I'll switch over. Thing is doing just fine. It's not hot. And I just started this Diablo. But again, the phone's not hot at all. It's normal. That was one of the pitfalls of the 15 Ultra. Even though I love that phone, it did get pretty hot under random situations. Now, when I end up playing this for 100 hours and I get into some serious mobs, I'll let you guys know. We'll see how it does. Not my time, baby. So yeah, right now, all good. No overheating issues at all, gaming or otherwise. So that's a little bit of the gaming there. Okay, so overall, I'm going to say, I would say this is a fine phone, but I don't think there's a reason to get it right now in the US. The second screen, like we looked at, the personalization on it is limited to some apps. If you guys use Spotify, fine. This is really a Chinese ROM phone meant to work in China, meant to work with their ecosystem. You can get it to work here, but my argument is if you're not getting the absolute top of the line camera, why? Why would you spend $1,000? Why not just get the iPhone? Why not get the iPhone 17? Now, I don't use an iPhone, and I'm not like an iPhone guy, but the iPhone 17 is going to work perfectly here. It's going to be a fine camera. Really what sets these phones apart is the camera. So when you are able to do like a global, where I don't have to worry about Google services and I get the top of the line camera, then it's an instant buy. Like this phone was my favorite phone this year, the 15 Ultra. And I'm about to switch back to this phone as soon as I do this review and get out of this phone. So right now, overall is just, it's not there. For the 17 Pro Max, it's not there to compete with what we can get here that's more compatible in the US. So $1,139, let's see, this global Xiaomi you can probably get for around the same price right now, the 15 Ultra, and it'll work here. You get a little bit of a better camera. You don't get the second screen, but here in the US, it's kind of limited. Do you really is that really the deal breaker for you guys? I don't know. Only you know. But I showed you as far as here, there's not a ton of apps that are compatible. So the bottom line for me right now, the bottom line is I would say don't buy this in the US. I would skip this until the 17 Ultra comes out, and then I would get it. So right now, I would skip this phone in the US. I think there's better phones to get. Although it's a good phone, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not meant for the US ecosystem, and the camera doesn't offset having to go through all those little bullshit gripes. The camera isn't good enough to offset all those gripes. So I would say skip this for now, wait for the Ultra. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will have more videos coming up.